It's time for Tech Talk with Todd.
We need to really stay, as churches, stay up with technology in today's society.
Yeah.
Because without it, the churches themselves will get lost.
Yeah.
And the Bible says we have to be wise in order to win souls. Hello, everyone. You're here with TTT, Tech Talk with Todd. And we're here today, we're going to have a conversation on media for churches. And why do we feel that it's important for church to have media and what the reason the media is there for. And today I have with me my pastor here at the studio, Pastor Mark Stroud.
Hello, Todd.
How are you doing?
See you. Doing well, my friend. Doing
Wonderful,
well.
wonderful.
Hello, everybody.
And before we get started, why don't you give us a little brief info about yourself?
All right. Well, my name is Mark Stroud. I'm the pastor of Kingdom Rock Family Worship Center here in Bremen, Georgia. Been in the media industry for almost 30 years.
Oh.
Long time.
Yes, Lord.
And I've seen a lot of things from tape ministry, some of you may remember that, to the emergence of CD and DVD, on all the way up to radio and cable shows and so forth and so on. Have a lot of experience now in things that we're doing now at the church. That's really creating a worldwide impact. And I'm glad to be with you. I'm glad to be here on Tech Talk with Todd to share with you the good news of Jesus Christ. So we've seen quite a lot over the last 30 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. You've said one thing, that media has come a long ways.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back in the days where the only thing you had was cassette tapes. and don't think about copying them for somebody to actually pick up and take home with them. You'd be there for about 30, 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, remember being in church services where you videoed to a VCR.
Yeah.
Recorded straight to a VCR, man. Some of you may remember that. Put the big tape in, hit record, and then you had a bay. We had a bay of VCR recorders. I mean, one player, and then you had a whole shelf full of VHS recorders trying to get those tapes out.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
A lot of people still have those, you know that, right?
Oh, I hope not. No.
I mean, these days, it's even historical for a lot of churches. They have CDs.
Yes.
The media has come so far these days to where CDs are coming obsolete.
Yes.
To where the media is basically streamed directly from your phone, computer, tablet, and even now straight to TVs, which is, pretty remarkable these days.
That's true. And you think about it, most new cars today, 2019, 20, don't come with CD players anymore.
Right, they don't. They don't. You don't believe me? Go rent one. And see.
Yeah.
And bring your CDs to see if you're going to be able to play.
That's right. That tells you how technology is changing and has changed. And the church has to keep up with the trends.
Yeah, you're right. And since you say that,
I
want to ask you a question. Is being a pastor and a minister of the church, how important do you think it is for different churches to have media involved in their ministry?
Oh, it's terribly important, awesomely important. I tell you, over the years, we've been a small church, numerically, and I've always had a large ministry on the inside of me, but I couldn't see it numerically in the church.
Amen.
And that's one thing that frustrated me in past years. Lord, how was that going to happen? Because I would see big numbers, I would dream big numbers, and not know how it would come to pass. And then he began to deal with me about media.
Hallelujah. Yeah,
Wow.
that can take you a lot further than what you actually can see.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So then, of course, with the advent of media where it is now, of course, some years ago, it would have been a small fortune to have television cameras in the church and all these other ways that we're doing it now. But here, it's cost effective and it's very reasonable. You put a little line on your budget in church, you get it done. So now, if the service only has 50 or 100 people in the building, there can be thousands watching. And I've told pastors in media conferences and different places where we've gone to minister, oftentimes there's more of an opportunity for people to give online than there is in church.
Yeah.
And more, oftentimes more than none, there is more media money, I call it, or offerings that are given online than there is on the plate. So I tell any pastor, you are really missing out on what God can do if your ministry is only within the four walls of the church. You're missing out on one of the greatest technological explosions that has happened to mankind.
I believe you on that.
Yeah.
I believe you on that. Do you think that media is where it's going to do this job as far as reaching people beyond and further out than we have it, say in the cities or in the states?
Oh, definitely. If I would say it this way, if a church is not up, I don't want to say we don't have to have necessarily cutting edge technology. Or let me say it this way, you don't want to be on the bleeding edge of technology.
Okay.
You want to stay on the cutting edge. And what I mean by that, if you're on the bleeding edge, that means you have technology that has not been proven, or you may have the best technology that your church can afford, but you don't have the staff to run that technology. You're going to bleed. You're going to bleed money. You're going to bleed finances. The church is just going to bleed. So you're going to not only have to have the electronics, but the people that can also perform that and to work it. And you can have $1 billion worth of equipment, but if you don't have anybody to run it, or if they just squander it, it's just like you're just wasting money. Think about it this way too. Let me give you this example. There is a man on the street corner, and powerful man of God.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's preaching the right word, he's doing the right thing, but he was passing out cassette tapes.
Wow.
What would that say?
He's stuck.
He's stuck.
Yes, he's definitely stuck. Number one, if he's doing that in this day in society.
I mean, today, like a couple of weeks ago.
There's nobody playing with cassettes right now.
But the word on there is anointed. I mean, there's sure enough words from God on that cassette tape.
Do you have a cassette tape? Because I don't have a cassette player.
See, but I mean, to me, that's a great example.
Yes, it is.
Of someone being behind. Excellent word. There's nothing wrong with the word on there. Put together excellently, printed nicely, shrink wrapped, the whole 9 yards. But trying to pass them out. How many people are going to take that? Some people may say, "Oh, well, great job," but that technology is really outdated.
It's gone. It's in the past.
Yeah.
It's in the past. Yes, and I agree.
Yeah.
We need to really stay, as churches, stay up with technology in today's society.
Yeah.
Because without it, the churches themselves will get lost.
Yeah.
And the Bible says we have to be wise in order to win souls. So if we're not at that point to where we're being just as great as there are out in the world with the technology, we'll lose.
Yeah.
We'll definitely lose.
Yep. That there's a whole market now that's available at the palm of everybody's hand. Ministries need to get right here on the cell phone, and it's not as costly as you think it is. If we're not here, then chances are we're not where we should be.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
Yeah. At times, I mean, in recent years, we sent everybody to the website. Go to the website, and that's still a needed thing. Go to my website. Go to my website.
Right.
But now they want to know what's your app, your app, or if it is a website, is your website mobilized, so I can see the buttons clearly as I scroll up and down. That's a big thing too. You have to have that feature as well.
Yeah, I mean, even with most of the software and technology now, they actually have scales to where you can know if they're using a mobile device, if they're using a laptop or desktop, or if they're streaming on actually Roku and podcasts. So you can actually tell where your media is being watched the most, which is remarkable. I mean, with today's technology.
Yeah, and I've been to some church websites. Now, I hope this is not yours, my friend, but I've been to some ministry websites where the picture has not changed in 10 years. You can tell when a website just looks old. It looks outdated. And unfortunately, I've known some pastors in churches where they had someone to build the website some years ago, and that person is gone, and it is still up. No one has changed it. Announcements from 5 years ago are still scrolling on the screen.
Wow.
When someone goes to that site, they immediately see, oh, this is out of date, this is out of touch. And usually they'll scroll on by, just go to somewhere else. If they're doing a Google search, looking for a church in the area, and they see this old information, they probably won't hang around to listen or to see your content or to read anything about it. So that's one thing, we have to keep our sites fresh, have to keep the information fresh.
So not only having their technology, not only having somebody to run your technology, but someone to actually keep it up to date.
Yes.
Someone to actually
Yes.
stay on top of things and keep all of your scheduling, all of your calendar stuff, all of your concerts, all of your speaking engagements, anything that you got going on within your ministry, keeping it up to date. Because if it falls behind, you're going to lose out. People are going to, say if they don't keep this up to date, then what are they doing now? And they just lose interest.
Yeah. And you would think that people are spiritual, Talk about the man on the street corner.
Right.
I mean, this man has been with the Lord. He's been in the presence of the Lord, and he knows that this is a word from the Lord, and he's trying to give it out to the world. But if it's not in a method or in a form that the world is going to receive, I mean, he's not going to have as large of an impact as he could if unless he had maybe a postcard with possibly a QR code on it or something with a web address or something to that extent where someone could scan it with their phone and pick that thing right up and move on with it.
Right.
So it's just putting it where the people are. I like to think about it in terms of fishing too. If all the fish are at the other end and you have your pole and you say, well, I'm going to fish here, and you're going to bait your hook with donuts, you bait your hook with, with the finest of things, and you bait it and you send it out there. Well, all the fish are down there. No matter how good your bait is, no matter how good the word is, if the fish aren't there, we're just sitting on this dock waiting on them. Sometimes we got to take our hook and either cast it very far or move to another spot where the fish are.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. That's an excellent analogy.
Yeah. So that may mean some form of social media for your ministry, but I don't recommend starting other media programs if you don't have anyone there to monitor it. I don't recommend just starting something just to start it. You got to have somebody there. Like the Lord said about Adam in the very beginning, he didn't send the rain because he didn't have a man to till the ground. If you don't have anybody that's going to work it, then pray first.
So
have somebody.
That position itself, it becomes a ministry.
Yes. Yes.
So there has to be somebody that's dependable, somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yes.
And not only knows, but that enjoy it. That way they'll be more than happy to stay on top of it.
Yeah. Somebody like Todd. I mean, I've been doing this thing for a number of years, and I did cry out. Let me give my brother some props here. I did cry out, Lord, send me somebody that knew that media is very important to me. It's some ministries may be great in music, may be great, they have great choirs, great children's ministry, and all these different functions of the body. Well, mine was always media. And I didn't have anybody, Lord, that I could really lean on to help me in that regard. Until the Lord sent me Todd, who was very versed in it and who could pick right up and get in these systems and help toe the line. So until then, I had to work things, but I could not release ministry in its full extent if I didn't have anybody to help me. So yeah, maybe we can even say great ministry starts with great help.
Yes.
And great prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Prayer is going to be in everything.
Oh yeah.
Definitely going to be in everything.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
Yes, you are.
I am the media director of.
Yes, you are.
And I enjoy it. It's something I have a passion for, as far as audio and video and media. Those who know me and know of me, they know my work. Those who don't know me, you'll get a chance to know my work.
Oh, yes.
So this is just the beginning of what we have to come and in store. So please stay tuned, do subscribe, stay in touch, ring the bell, and you'll be hearing more. Actually, I'm thinking about possibly doing Tech Talk at least once every.
Would you guys like to hear more Tech Talk here?
Hey, if you do, please leave us a comment.
Yeah.
And we'll get with you and give us some ideas on what you think about church and media, being in different churches, and how your media is in your church. And if you need help, give us a contact. Maybe we can help you out, point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
So once again, do subscribe. And this is TTT, Tech Talk with Todd. God bless you.